Hello. In the last video, we started a new series working with the software Scratch and using the online Scratch to do it. So I saved my project and we'll just have a look and see how that works out. So I'm pretty new to using Scratch online. So we have the demo is right here as a shared project. So let's see how we do that. I'd imagine we just go see inside. And this is probably now like remixing it. So if I change this to, let's go part two, then I'm not sure that's right because it says shared already. So let's see. We want to make sure that we get this into different parts. So let's see, we'll try that again. We'll go to my stuff. Let's see if we can go like this. Okay, so it's see inside. I don't see a remix. Yeah, we don't want to end up having this overwritten because this is a first step in the video. So maybe this is the way to do it and it will be like not shared after I change something. So I haven't made any changes. Now, this script, it could probably use better organizing, but we're going to leave things as it is for now, and we'll just go to adding the next sprite. So let's add the next sprite. We could do a button here, or we could just go straight into the rocket, and I think I'm going to go straight into making the bullet for this. Now, this is still saying shared. Save now. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I'm not entirely certain on this part. Like I said in the last video, I'm quite new to using Scratch Online especially. So not only am I new to the software itself, but I'm new to using it online. So we're going to center this and we're going to scale it back up to 100. That way we have some scale to build our rocket from. So we'll call this rocket. And yeah, if the project gets merged together as one and just becomes demo part 2, then I'll try to figure it out by the next video so that we have different steps as it progresses. Because I think that can be done. I'm pretty sure that's what I've seen being done in the other videos. So let's see, what will we do for our rocket? We'll start with, we'll give it an outline of 1. We don't want it that bright, or dark I should say. We want a lighter outside, and then a darker, or an even, maybe a slightly darker inside. Something along those lines. So we'll go sort of dark here, and let's change this one to a little lighter. And it's all about how it's going to show up here. So maybe something like that'll work. Now we'll zero this on Y, and let's try around 150 on X, and that'll hopefully get it to be out in front. So we'll just start with a rectangle, and let's see what we're getting here. I'm not seeing that outline at all. Let's get an idea for what's going on there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing that outline. Oh, there it is. Alright, so maybe we'll bring that up, and then we'll ease that color out and see how that looks. Oh, we're not selected here. We have to select that to get that to happen. Maybe something like that. And then go a little darker on the inside. So that looks okay. So let's get some scale here. Let's just get it down, down, down. And down a little bit more. And let's see. We don't want it to be too big, and we don't want it to be too small. So maybe somewhere around there will work. So let's see how that works. So we'll zoom in a bunch on that. Okay, so that's the start of a rocket. Let's draw a line. One black, just a measurement line here. So something like that. We'll go into control points. I accidentally slid that graphic there. And we'll just pop in some control points right here and right here. Now, when we have this long handle, we can get rid of this long handle by plopping a control point right next to the other one. And that'll cut off that handle. And we just delete it. And we'll delete this one. So we'll delete that. So that'll give us a way to make a fin. So let's just go up. 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit exaggerated, but that's okay. A little exaggerated will work out. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Let's see what it looks like with one less there. And one less there. That should be okay like that. So that's it. We're not going to do a lot with this. Then we'll go over to the tip. So we'll do a tip. Something like this. And we'll just get that right up next close so we can see. Let's get the selection tool and control points. We're just going to get the scale right here. So that looks right. Now we're going to get it back something like that. That should be good. And then we're going to change its color. Let's see if it grows this way. Yeah, it does. So we'll shrink it again. probably right there will work. And we'll grab it like that, shrink that up like that, and that works. Now we're going to saturate that into red, and that's not what we were looking to do. We wanted to do this into red. So we'll pull that up, pull that up. We'll push that backwards like this. We'll move the whole thing until that one red line disappears. We'll come back like this. Let's select this. We'll rotate it. Let's make sure this is centered. And we should probably grow it up a bit. And then let's center that. And we'll pull it out a bit and recenter that. Make sure it's centered. Come back into control points, put one here. That's fine. We'll select this one and this one and delete them. So that gives us a tip. We have a little bit of protruding out the front there. That should be okay. Let's just pull this out and make it a little bit bigger. So that looks good. We can delete this. We can get picky and tuck that in a little bit, and tuck that in a little bit. That looks fine. Let's see. Let's do a picker. Getting that strange responsiveness that I assume is from working online. So we'll shift. We'll pick this up. Make sure it's centered. Drive it back a little bit. And this detail, it's basically useless even doing because we're not even going to see it on this. But whatever. So let's address the size of this. It looks a little bit big. Maybe we'll get this tip out a little bit more. Get that to be a little more prominent. So, okay, we're going to call that okay. So we want to select this properly. We can center it. It doesn't turn, it's just going to fly straight, so its centering doesn't need to consider a pivot point. So let's go over to the rocket and let's see which one had the straight flames. So we'll just copy this. Oh, that's not the way to copy in this software. And we'll paste it into here. It's appeared, but it's just way off in the boonies. So let's go out until we can see that. We'll pick it up, bring it over close. Plus, 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 plus. Zoom in. We'll scale that. We can use the Alt key to scale it in the center. It won't make much difference though. So let's see what that looks like. Somewhere around there should be good. That looks fine. Let's push it backward, backward. That's good. Duplicate. Let's change the name first. That way it will automatically number itself. Rocket 1. Duplicate Rocket 2 and Rocket 3. We'll do the same trick with the control points. So we'll just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could have zoomed out and done that by a smaller count. So that gives us a little bit of an animation to go with that. Let's get an idea for where it should be. Let's try 30. That's right inside of the ship. 40. Okay, so we have an idea for our scale. Let's check where everything is here. Okay, we're off on Y, so we want to get to 0. We're off on X, so we want to get to 0. Let's return our scale to 30, so 30% of original. We'll scale this down. We'll try 30 to start, but if that's too small, no, that's okay. So now we're ready to come back until we can get a measurement there. So let's try 25. So that should be about right there. So that will be our offset. So what we'd be looking for is some code. So let's go into code and see what we need here. I think we would start when the green flag is clicked, hide. So we want that to be hidden. Now we're missing one in the ship here, so we should put that in. So we don't want to assume the scale. We want to be specific and tell it to scale. So scale is in looks. Set size 2. So we have that at 30%. In here we hide. We set the size to 30%. So that gets us going. Now, we're going to make it so that it'll shoot even when the game isn't playing, and then we'll change that later. So we'll change that when we add in more variables. So how much do we need for variables on this? Probably not very much at all. So we'll start with control or events. Control, let's see, when I start as a clone, we'll need that. So that's what it does when it starts as a clone. And this one, when space is pressed. So when space is pressed, we want it to go to a not random position. We want it to go to spaceship. So go to ship. We want it to point towards I think that we want to go point in direction, and then down here we have ship and direction. So this will create the direction of ship. Because point towards ship, when it's sitting right where the ship is, what does point towards ship mean exactly? Point in direction of ship. So let's take that off. Let's click it, and it points in the direction that the ship is clicking. So the question is, should this be happening as a clone? Probably. So this is probably what should happen when we do a clone. So let's go to control, and we'll go create clone of myself. It's still hidden. Go to ship, point in direction of ship. So this is when it starts as a clone. Show. Let's see, what kind of a loop can we use? Loop, repeat until. Repeat until. Sensing, touching, edge. So for now, we're just going to make it hit the edge because it has nothing else to hit. So repeat until touching edge. When it's done repeating that, it will simply delete itself. So this should get us pretty close. Now it's a matter of what speed we want it to move. So this is move 10 steps. So we'll assume 10 steps. So let's see, when start clicked. So right now, if we spacebar, we're already going to get a tester. So we can hide the rocket now. Even though it doesn't make much difference, we can come back to the ship. Let's see, costumes. We'll put it into the right costume. And let's check the code on that. So these are again things that shouldn't get assumed. So we've made the assumption that, oh, it's going to be in the right costume. That's not a safe assumption to make. So when we're doing our setup, we'll hide, we'll switch to the ship costume because that's what we want as default. The size, the position, the direction it points, initialize our variables. So in here, we'll want to do the same thing. So we hide, we switch to costume. This one, it makes super little difference, and it's really just practice to do. So in repeat until, we'll go next costume, and that will make the animation run. So now when we press the bar, the animation is running, and it doesn't show a lot. Like, we're not going to see a lot there, but the flame is moving back and forth. So we'll put that all together. We now have some boost. We can shoot. Our shoot speed is really fast, and this is slowing down. This is slowing down because we're online. So yeah, online, things slow down quite a bit. Now, when it comes to how quickly we can shoot, that'll need to get changed. So we'll just glance forward and get an idea for what that looks like in my other script. So this one is more when I start as a clone. And nothing is actually handled from here. The script, I believe, was put into here. So we have when space is pressed, we have a variable to decide so that it cannot shoot. This one will not shoot. Oh, yeah, actually it will because it thinks this variable hasn't been reset. So there's no way to reset the variable. So yeah, that's a little questionable there. We create the clone and we wait 1 second. So if we were to make this work the same way, we would take this, drop it into the ship, and erase it from here. Then inside of the ship, we would, when space is pressed, create clone of. It's no longer myself, it's Rocket. And then we would put in the weight. And I think I had it at 0.1, and that makes it so that it cannot shoot so quickly. I expect in here that we're still going to see the slowdown though. So I don't know if, well, no, it doesn't slow down as badly now because we put in that time lag. So that's it for this video. Actually it isn't. There's one more thing that we need to manage here. So what we're not managing is our layers. So when clicked, we'll go into looks. Inside of the ship, we want to tell it hide, go to back layer. For the rocket, we want it in the back layer also. But we want the ship on top of the rocket, so we're going to tell the ship, go to the back layer, go forward one layer. Now I'm not sure how much, if go to back layer is actually essential. It probably isn't, because it probably isn't. But I don't really deal with probablys a lot. So I put things in a way that is very clear. So this goes to the back layer. This is behind. The ship goes to the back layer, then comes forward one layer. So now it should be on top of the rocket, should be underneath the ship. So now when we shoot, we don't see the rocket on top of the ship. It's coming from underneath. So that gets our RockBlaster working. And that pretty much puts us at seeing what happens when we save. So I don't know what's going to happen when I save, if we're going to have just a new name to the same project or what. So that is one I am not clear on. Oh, we save as copy. So I think we can save this as a copy. So let's see how that worked. I really have no idea here, I'm just guessing. So now we have part 1 and part 2 copy. So part 1 got named part 2. Let's see if we can adjust that. So I'll just try to manage these names and see what happens. So we'll just save that like that. Now we have part 2 copy. And this is probably not shared. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out. So we'll share this. Okay. We'll call this part 2. And hopefully we can sort the naming out, and we'll see what I can do to sort the naming out. So I think that gets everything sort of in order, except for a little bit of naming issues. So I'll have to look and see if I can manage these names and get these straightened out. So yeah, in the next video, I think we'll add in the rock and get the bullets doing something significant at that point, and see how that works out. Yeah, we have a manage here, so I can probably get these names sorted out. So hopefully I can get that figured out. So that's it for this video, and until the next video, take care.